Good evening. A day after police shared video from an officer-involved shooting at a Walmart in the Heights, the mother of the suspect who was shot and killed is speaking out. Not against police, but the drug she says is claiming lives all over the state. News 13's Madison Connor has her story.
It's hard to continue with this job sometimes when, we're fighting against pills that are 3 for $1.
Janetta Salazar has worked as a substance abuse counselor here in Albuquerque for 15 years. But last month, her work became heartbreakingly personal.
I know I'm not the only parent in New Mexico that has been affected by this, that has lost a child in one way, shape, or another because of this drug.
Her son, 30-year-old Mark Benavides, was shot and killed outside of the Walmart at Wyoming and Manal after grabbing an Albuquerque police detective's rifle during an attempted arrest and firing it into the ground 8 times. Benavides struggled with addiction.
My son had lost his Medicaid 4 days before, and he was cut off of his methadone treatment. And anyone who works in what I work in knows that's a recipe for disaster.
A devastating situation as a mother.
When I watch this video, I see what is happening that's every parent that has an addicted child. That is your worst nightmare.
As a counselor in the field, she says it's the reality of the world we live in.
The recovery community as a whole, we are very overwhelmed. And we're all really trying as hard as we can, but we're just people too.
As she grieves the death of her son, she doesn't blame the officers for the decision they had to make.
I'm sorry for those officers. I know I could hear in their voice the desperation.
She says there is one thing at fault: fentanyl and the opioid epidemic.
I look at addiction like that, like it's an entity living in you. And everything about that drug tells people not to take help. Everything about that drug tells you all you need is that drug.
She believes the odds are stacked against addicts as treatment becomes harder to access.
You going to go to counseling, or do you want to have these pills? People are going to choose that. That's how this addiction works, unfortunately.
A never-ending cycle.
When I read the work that our police are doing, when they're catching somebody with 200,000 pills, that makes me realize 200,000 pills isn't very much. Is that even putting a dent in it?
And she says something needs to be done at the top.
It comes down to this: when we talk about public safety, none of these issues are going to go away until we do something about this drug. And it's going to take bold political moves on both sides, I think, to stand up and say we know what these answers could be.
She hopes then this can stop happening to New Mexico's families.
The pull is so much. I hate it. I hate it so much. But that's what we're here to deal with. And, I can't be mad at anybody for what happened because my son made his choices.
Madison Connor, KRQE, News 13.
According to the New Mexico Harm Reduction Collaborative, fentanyl is the most accessible drug in Albuquerque.